Hi, what's up, y'all? It's Papa was cracking this D. About to react to this video by Honest. It's titled Shawn Mendes. This is dot dot dot. Has he come out? I want to know the tea on Shawn Mendes because I know that people are waiting, for him to come out. That's the common sentiment, okay? I don't really know this man's life and what's going on with him. I'm not making any accusations. I'm just saying what the streets are saying. Anyway, let's hear what Honest has to say. Let's watch.
I think I finally pinpointed why Shawn Mendes has struggled so much since his Treat You Better and Mercy days. And it might be the most obvious explanation yet. His music is boring, and honestly,
Ooh.
it's always been a bit boring.
I like
Being a
stitches.
teen heartthrob doesn't really demand you to be interesting. Your looks and a catchy hook doesn't work for you, especially when it comes to white boys. Being a sufficient and successful adult star demands a bit more, even if that bit more is as simple as an insanely catchy song. When you consider that Shawn Mendes got his start by doing covers, and had a lot of heavy industry involvement in his older work, and with the absence of some of his previous collaborators such as Teddy Geiger, it makes sense how his music over the last few years has been received and how he's meandered a bit. Shawn clearly values good pop songwriters, citing artists like Taylor Swift, John Mayer, and Ed Sheeran as inspirations. The only thing is, Shawn is not a very good writer himself. His writing really does want to be deep. It's trying so hard but it just never reaches that point. And that's okay and passable when you're doing more upbeat pop songs. But when you're venturing into folk pop,
To me, I just how I felt about Taylor. I felt like she was trying real hard to be deep, and it's like, girl, that's just the vibe I got from reacting to her album. But whatever.
in his latest release,
People love it. I
lyrics
eat
play
it
a
up.
bigger
People think she's a great storyteller. I didn't see it.
factor. You have to be able to carry an album with your pen doing this type of style. I can't help but to think of fellow Canadian and fellow Mendes collaborator Justin Bieber, someone who blazed the trail for Shawn to follow. Bieber has always had this effortless finesse about his career and hits.
Let's be clear though. Maybe she is a decent storyteller, but the problem is she talking about shit I don't care about. So of course I'm going to feel like she's not the best storyteller because I'm like, girl, I don't care about none of the shit you're talking about. Even if you're wording it in a way that seems poetic, I'm still just like, all right. And again, I just feel like she was trying hard, but in my opinion.
Where it doesn't feel like he's trying so hard and it still results in great gains. Meanwhile, Shawn seems to be trying really hard, especially as he's moved into adulthood, to be a more serious artist, and it results in diminishing returns. I think people like Harry Styles have really filled the gap of the lane that Shawn was intended to occupy. And that's not to say there can only be one, but I think after a certain amount of time, you only get so many tries to really establish yourself in a new way. I think there are definitely interesting complexities in the world of Shawn Mendes that could add more depth to him as an artist, because as we know, being a child star is not easy. But I think the real interesting complexities are pushed to the side in this constant journey of discovering and finding himself, a motif that he has used for nearly all of his albums. Instead, it feels like he favors an idea of what will give him credibility versus what actually will. I also think the quality of Shawn's music is heavily dependent on who he's working with, because he hasn't reached that level where his artistic presence can just simply elevate a song. And I definitely sense a real sense of emotion in his public statements about his anxiety, or his personal troubles, or him being in love. But I don't think that emotion transfers over into his music, and I think a large reason for that is his writing. This is a man that, after all, admitted that Camila Cabello was the sole inspiration for his entire discography. But if you're not breaking new ground, coming up with interesting concepts, it just seems like obsolete lore. I really can't help but to think of the Sabrina Carpenter song that is allegedly about him called Dumb and Poetic, where she says, "Try to come off like you're soft and well-spoken, jack off to lyrics by Leonard Cohen." This lyric is even funnier because he includes a dull cover of Leonard Cohen on his album titled Shawn. He spent so much of this album talking about being distressed, trying to find himself, but he never explains what he's running from or what has been causing him so much trouble. It comes across as if Shawn thinks an emotional tone to a song is enough to carry it to depth. For example, the song Heavy, which talks about the weight of the emotional baggage he's carrying, but never discusses what it is, and it's delivered with lyrical cliches.
Interestingly enough, another Shawn did this. Big Sean. His album, I feel like, was littered with the same sentiment that, oh, I'm going through it, or I've been through it, I got over it, da da da. And it's like, what is it? What are you referencing? If you're gonna open up and try to be vulnerable, you gotta give us something, a little bit of something. I feel like he was very vague.
I'm tired of all the nights awake, carrying this weight. It's been so heavy. Or even the song Mountain, where he very briefly addresses the rumors about his sexuality.
He said you can. Oh, he about to read it?
The overall song is about his journey of very
Okay,
briefly.
let's go back. You can say I'm too old. You can say I like girls or boys. That's a weird thing to say, girls or boys. Sounds kind of PDF file-ish, but sure. Whatever fits your mold. You can say I'm a dreamer. You can say I'm too far gone, but I've never been better, so call it what you want. Oh, period. I like that, though.
Addresses the rumors about his sexuality. The overall song is about his journey of self-discovery and allegedly going somewhere secluded, taking drugs, and coming back and
I remember reacting to something about that.
Sean's own non-specific
He's in a
lyrics
cult. That's what they said.
Does not do any justice to give credence to this supposed enlightenment. And you can say it was drugs. You can say it was God.
Wait, who said that? Messy ass Sloan. Yeah, Sloan was saying that you in a cult, y'all.
You can say it was aliens. You can say I've lost the plot. You can say I'm a dreamer. You can say I'm too far gone. But I saw something out there, so call it what you want. While there is a sense of earnestness, you can't help but to feel there's an overwhelming feeling of pseudo-intellectualism at play here. Even on the album Highlight Heart of Gold, which is arguably the most lyrically detailed song on the album about a late friend, the hook of the song is painfully cliche. Sonically, the album is far more stripped back than his previous work, guitar and acoustic-driven music, akin to the style of production you'd find on many pop singer-songwriter-centered records. It's not very interesting musically. When I think of good modern pop albums that go in this direction, I think of Taylor Swift's Folklore, and Shawn is worlds away from Folklore on this album.
Never heard of it.
And even though the album only has a 31-minute runtime across 12 tracks, it can certainly start to feel like one long song. This is the album where Shawn claims he's found himself, but you don't get the sense that that's true by the end of this record. While Shawn isn't shy about the excessive emotional weight he's been carrying, it becomes clear that he's also punching above his weight artistically with this record. Shawn is not developed enough as a lyricist to deliver on the promise of a record of this magnitude. The best written song of the album is his cover of Hallelujah, which stands out like a sore thumb on this track list, and I wonder why Shawn chose to cover a song that is so ingrained to the world songbook, especially when his version feels so empty. I give him credit because you can see the direction he's going, and it's a very clear direction, but unfortunately, he doesn't land.
I like this photo of him. Honest hates it, that means I might like it. So I low-key might check it out. Because historically, you know, he is shitting on stuff that I like. You know, he hated Katy Perry's album. And spoiler alert, I really like that album. I reacted to it on my Patreon and I kept playing a few of those songs, okay? That was fire to me. So, yeah, he likes the deeper, introspective, I guess, pop. I don't give a fuck about that. It's pop. It's pop. Like, give me the bops, you know, and give me, you know, something quick, easy to listen to. That's what I want for my pop music personally. But, you know, yeah, I guess he wasn't fucking with it. But it's only 30 minutes at that. Definitely might check it out. If y'all have heard this album, definitely let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you've been watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.